And so I call in a week and the results are not yet back. I call after 2 months, 2 weeks, sorry, not back. 3 weeks, not back. 1 month, not back. I got to a point I started forgetting about it, but I would pray a lot about it. So I would tell you from October 7th up until December, I cried the entire time. I could barely leave my room. I got into a phase of just depression. I had cleared therapy, so I didn't want to go back into therapy, so I never got back. On 7th October 2024, Fadili throws up. Like, this is 18 months after he was born and he had never been unwell. And so he throws up and I'm like, definitely it's malaria. We are going to have him checked. It's going to be fine. We are going to move on with our lives. It's not such a big deal. Kids get sick. It's 18 months. He's never gotten sick, so it's a blessing. And so I'm not like the kind of parents who goes to hospital every time. That's not my ministry. I don't roll like that. It takes a lot for you to see me at the hospital with my children. And so I decide, let's go do the test and see what's up and test for malaria. And so I walk in and the doctor is like, no, the healthcare provider is like, I can see his eyes are yellow. Have you ever checked him for sickle cell disease? And I just lost it. Like, I didn't understand why are we moving from 0 to 100. I had horrific stories about sickle cell disease. I had seen mothers who are abandoned by their partners because they were diagnosed with sickle cell disease. I had seen a crisis and the toll it takes on moms specifically. I had been on conversations with women who are going through the process, having the crisis, having to be there for their kids, being called when they are at work to come pick their kids, them losing their jobs because they could no longer work because they needed to attend to their children, and the crises were coming in more often. I had wanted to start a sickle cell disease program in STADA in 2022. I had contacted a number of organizations within Kisumu County to partner because I knew, like, this is not my experience. And for me, as a rule, I don't get into implementation that I don't understand. So I wouldn't want to advise someone if I haven't gone through what they are going through. I wouldn't want to purport to know. I get to talk to people who've experienced stuff so that I'm able to implement. And so I had thought about it and I was like, let me partner with someone else, and I had talked to a cousin of mine and a distant cousin of mine, and we were thinking of doing something. That was on 2022, and then now with giving birth, I'd given birth a lot. it just sort of died down, but it was still at the back of my mind. So when this lady tells me that my child could be having sickle cell, I was mad. I was angry because I had known like what that disease meant. And so I was like, no, don't mind, not happening. I'm not doing it. It's not necessary. I've never heard of it in my family. It's never happened. I just shelved it completely. But it really disturbed me. I'm a deeply spiritual person. So when something is off, I feel it in my gut. I feel it in my spirit. Like something was off from that moment. So they go on and do the full hemogram. That's the word, I think so. And his blood is off. The white blood cells are high, the red blood cells are low, the blood is low, the leukocytes are, everything is just crazy. There is nothing about his blood that is normal. During this time, he had the habit of just getting out of the house and just eating on that. I was like, hey, maybe he has anemia and he has malaria, and anemia and malaria tend to have the same effects. So I was like, let me do the other things. I'm not going to. So the part that he kept on asking that we do the test was with the MCH. So there's the MCH and then there's another one that was so off. And so my journey begins. I brush it off. That day I cried. It's a miracle that I don't cry anymore, but I cried so much. I was it 6 months or 7 months pregnant at the time? And so that was just adding on to the layer of trauma and the layer of just confusion. So after a while, we treat the malaria. He had like serious malaria infection. So we treat the malaria and we are back in the house and the symptoms don't go away. And so like we again have to go back to hospital. So we used to drive him to hospital because he was supposed to be admitted. And I don't like hospitals. I said I just hate hospitals. And so we were going and coming every day. So we would take him for IV at, 2 a.m. in the morning and then 2 p.m. in the evening. 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. And so that is how our journey started. When there was no change, we had to go back. And so when we went back, I just told the doctor, test everything. The malaria had cleared, but the bacterial infection was still there because there was really high protein in his blood, which suggested that the body was fighting something. And so when we went back, I told him just test everything. Test the sickle cell, test everything, test HIV, test everything. Because I just needed to clear everything from my mind. And so they checked the test. That particular hospital was not doing the sickle cell disease test, and so they pick the blood and they tell us come back in a week. And so I call in a week and the results are not yet back. I call after 2 months, 2 weeks, sorry, not back. 3 weeks, not back. 1 month, not back. I got to a point I started forgetting about it, but I would pray a lot about it. And the more I prayed about it, the more like, for me, I crashed. So I would tell you from October 7th up until December, I cried the entire time. I could barely leave my room. I got into a phase of just depression. I had cleared therapy, so I didn't want to go back into therapy, so I never got back. But like I was always constantly depressed and stressed and anxious. I would have serious panic attacks. I had not known the results, but I would wake up in the middle of the night with serious panic attacks and I would sweat and I was always crying. And so turns out around this time my husband got the results, but because of the results that they got, they didn't want me to know because of my condition. So I was the only one who didn't know. Almost everyone around me knew. And so I just felt it. I just felt something was off. And so on 7th of December, I walk into the facility and ask for the results. And I was like, whatever it is, I am entitled to know it. I just want to know, was it the 7th or the 6th? Either the 6th of December or the 7th of December. So I just wanted to know. I just wanted to get over and done with it. So I just wanted to know and close that chapter and move on. So I give the name of the child and they check the results. And all I could see from that paper, because it was like many things were written, but then there was something that was written in capital. So sickle cell disease present. And I felt numb, completely numb. I didn't know what to do. I don't know how to move. I didn't know who to call. My husband was away. I was just there. I stood there. I didn't know what to do. So I stood there for a while. I guess it was awkward for the person who gave me the results to witness. And so what he did was to usher me, to request me to go into the doctor's room so that I could see the doctor. And so I walked into that room and I gave the doctor the results and I didn't say a word. And he started telling me his case is extremely severe and we need to be able to move fast with everything because his case is very severe. So I couldn't reconcile the boy that had just left in the car and this one that I was being told was severely ill. And I was given all my options, including a bone marrow transplant and how risky it is, including all these things. I came back. I delivered exactly a week afterwards. And I was still just so confused. Even within the delivery room, I was very confused. You see, for someone to have sickle cell disease, both parents need to be carriers. Or one parent needs to be a sickler. So both my husband and I do not have the sickle cell disease. So we are carriers. And so I wasn't sure whether the child that I was giving birth to was also had the disease. I didn't know how I was going to raise. I just felt so inadequate in that moment. And I can remember like me being happy and sad at the same time. I could not express exactly what my emotions were at. And that was a blow. And so I am happy to start this journey. One of the things that I want to say here, because I'll come back and confirm it along this way, is that Fadhili will be healed. That one, I don't have any sort of doubt around. And again, because I'm a deeply spiritual person, I know that there is going to be a miracle, either through the hands of the doctors or just a supernatural something. That one I am sure of. And that's where my faith is at. But having walked the journey, now, since I got the diagnosis, or since I got the diagnosis, basically it's 3 months. But then since we tested, it's 6 months. I can tell you for a fact that I have some tips that I would want to share, especially with moms. I am a believer that you are not entrusted with a battle for nothing. I believe the reason why I'm entrusted with this phase of my life is to be able to be an encouragement to someone else, to be able to make this a ministry. And so I am starting a support group for moms with sickle cell disease. If you want to contact me, you can. We will put the email down below. I am also going to walk this journey with all of us who are in the same journey as I am. Some of the tips I am learning along the way in the terms of management. If you're not aware, this is a chronic disease, so it does not have a treatment per se, although right now we have stem cell and bone marrow transplants which are very risky, according to doctors. That's what I've heard. But for the better part, they are also extremely expensive, so it's not within everyone's reach. And so for the best part, some of us can only manage and not be able to treat. And so I will walk that journey with a couple of women, basically. I will share my tips, I will share my journey, and hopefully get on the other side and share that as well. So I don't want this to end on like a sad note, because like for me, I think I have gotten to the point where I've understood that this is indeed happening. I was in a phase of denial for a while, but I have so much hope. And that's the hope that I want to spread, because there is nothing that God cannot do as a believer. I know that it's possible for this to happen, but when you're in that phase, it's so dark. And I know it's so dark for many women, and I know that together we can be each other's support system. I believe there is purpose attached to every pain. I am not a believer in wasting pain, so I will not waste this pain. I will walk with you through my journey of acceptance, the tools that I use to be able to accept and to be able to offer support for my child, the tools I'm using to be able to keep him healthy. We have not had any crisis, but then there are tools that I keep on employing to ensure that his immunity is perfect, he is not exposed to malaria, his diet is great, and we are on the healthy side of things. So I'll take us through some of the things that I've learned along the way, and all that stuff. So this pain is attached to a purpose, and that purpose we will get to discover together. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.